Good morning, everyone. I'm Lifika Miti, and here with me are
Renelo Saboni,
Sisupa Tube, Boto Penta,
Lawrence Sugudi,
Atangle Kolwani,
Jero Burukyo.
This presentation will help map out how to move from the first spark of an idea to the final polish of a published piece. Next will be Susupo to walk you through the topic in terms of stages of research writing.
The first stage of research writing is the topic. A research topic is a particular subject matter that a researcher chooses to examine thoroughly. It sets the footing for your entire research paper. You should ensure that there is enough information to support your chosen topic. However, it is important to keep away from broad topics and rather focus on niche ones that have all the suitable information with no omissions. The topic should be clear and manageable. Its contribution to the research writing process is that it sets the direction for the paper. A research topic that is well thought out gives a crystal clear focus on the research. It guides the literature review and data collection, and it helps withhold the relevance and the consistency of the paper.
The introduction is an overview of the research topic, providing context, background information, and relevance. The introduction then captures readers' attention, which is then a well-defined introduction, and it makes the reader eager to read further. It then enhances significance, which emphasizes the relevance and needs for research in a particular field. The introduction then influences readers' understanding, which then enhances comprehension of the research topic, focuses, and the direction.
I'm going to talk about the research problem. The research problem is the starting point of any study. It defines the challenges that the research should address. It is the foundation of the research process. It helps clarify what the research is trying to achieve. It guides the research design and also establishes relevance. These are all importances of the research problem. A well-defined research problem makes a successful research. Defining the problem carefully guides the research process, making your research meaningful. And now I'll be handing it over to my colleague, Lawrence.
Into research objectives. So research objectives simply refers to a well-defined goals a researcher hopes to attain. So in simple terms, research objectives are goals a researcher hopes to attain. The importance of research objectives: it facilitates evaluation. Research objectives help to enable the assessment of objectives, a well-defined goals a researcher aims to attain. Research objectives are very important because they facilitate the evaluation. It enables the assessment of study success and efforts. They also maximizes communication. They enable the researcher to communicate the scope of the study to parties involved. They also contribute to research writing processes. Why? Because it helps readers to understand the purpose and scope of the study. A clearly stated objectives helps to grasp the fundamental purpose, and it also intensifies focus. A clearly stated objectives helps a researcher to be laser focused on their studies. I'm now handing over to my colleague Atang.
My name is Atang, and I'll be focusing on the hypothesis. A hypothesis is a testable statement that acts as a roadmap, showing the researcher what to focus on, preventing unnecessary wandering and time wastage. An example of a hypothesis is a company increases presence on social media platforms, which causes engagement from customers. With this hypothesis, it would guide researchers with their choice of tests, ensuring that analysis is relevant and accurate. Next, I'm going to bring on Libiha to talk about the literature review.
Another stage that we have is literature review. A simple definition is given that it is a systematic survey of existing studies, theories, and findings related to research topics. So many importances to literature review, but the one that we'll be solely focusing on is the fact that it identifies knowledge gaps when you review the work of the people, and it is easy to find what still needs to be explored in that necessary field. A contribution that literature review brings to research writing is that it prevents duplication of work. There's no need to repeat what is already existing in the system. Instead, that time can be used to find newer researches. Thank you.
Let's go.
My colleague Lifika will be taking us through the next stage.
The next stage of research writing is research design. This is the blueprint of carrying out your research. The same way building a house requires a blueprint, you cannot start building, which is collecting data, without a plan. Otherwise, your study, which is the structure, may collapse. Research design focuses on how the research is collected, analyzed, and measured, ensuring that your research carries out as smoothly as possible. It is very important in the sense that it gives clarity and focus, as well as guides data collection and analysis. This will ensure that you as a student do not become led astray and you're given an actual sense of direction. Research design is also important in the sense that it facilitates replication, making it easier for you to actually come up with your final draft or the final presentation or your work. It also gives validity and reliability. You as a student will reduce the risk of problems such as plagiarism or false information.
You have found during your research, explaining them and understanding them with the existing body. The discussion is where you turn your data and information into judgment. It is essential for demonstrating critical thinking and the value of your research. The discussion stage explains why and helps the readers understand the significance of the results. It acknowledges information, and a good discussion section recognizes flaws and constraints in your research. I'll now be handing over to my partner Susupo, and she'll take you to the next stage.
This is the second last stage of the research writing process, and it's the conclusion. A conclusion is a section that summarizes the main points of the paper and highlights their significance. It is important because it's a critical opportunity to leave a lasting impact on the reader. It also gives the writer a chance to reflect on the significance of their work and its possible contribution in that field of research. It provides a brief combination of key findings and arguments, emphasizing the implications of relevance to the last stage of research writing.
Recommendations. These are suggestions that stem from the findings of the study. Why are they important? They're important because they bridge the gap between research. They also highlight the relevance and impact of the study.
And that brings us to the conclusion of our research writing presentation. Thank you very much.